Hey there, welcome back. Today's video is going to be another tutorial or watch me do my makeup video. But before we get started, a lot of you had requests to see this person in more of my videos. So I brought him today. Oh, it's Elmo. So this is my dog Elmo. I mean, he really is a happy guy, guys. But he just always has this like melancholy Eeyore kind of attitude about him. But he's so this is my dog Elmo. He is a black pug, as you can see. He is 7 years old, and I've had him now since he was like 2 months old. So he is like the sweetest little thing, I have to tell you. If you've never had a pug before, they are one of the sweetest breeds out there. He is he's almost like the perfect dog, kind of, at least for me. Like, he's active but not too active, and he's doesn't bark, doesn't chew, doesn't bite, doesn't jump, doesn't he jumps a little bit when people first come in because he gets excited, but he's good with dogs, babies, people. I mean, he's good with everybody. So this is my little guy. You guys see him always on my Instagram, and I was hoping that he would do something like wild and crazy for you, but this is him just hanging out. So I'm gonna let him go to his bed, and I'll get started on the tutorial that I was gonna do. Like I said, it's gonna be a makeup tutorial or watch me do my makeup video, and I wanted to do a dark lip look. So I have a color from Lipstick Queen called from their Bête Noir collection, the Possessed Sheer. It looks really, really dark, but it actually is quite sheer when you kind of put it on. But it does still give like a nice dark lip look, and I want to show you how I kind of do a dark lip look, which is probably different than maybe other people would do a dark lip, but mine's more like wearable, that I can wear during the day to the office and whatnot. So I figured I would show you what I do and the makeup that I put with it. And let's get started. So I'm gonna first start with, skincare's all done, all that kind of stuff, so I have no makeup on. And we're first going to start with foundation, so I'm going to use the By Terry Cover Expert, and this is in the shade Fair Beige. So just squeeze a little bit out here, and I'll grab one of my Real Techniques buffing brush here, and I'll just kind of dot it on my face. I really, 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 really love this formula. It's one of my favorite foundations, actually. There is the Sheer Expert that By Terry makes, but I actually like the Cover Expert more because it gives a little bit more coverage. I don't find it too, Elmo hair. I don't find it too dewy either, which I like. I think it gives kind of a nice velvety, natural skin finish. And without being too matte or too glowy or anything like that. So just gonna kind of buff this in all over. Ooh, got it all the way back to my ear. That's too far. Ooh. Okay, so just kind of buff it all the way in. I kind of like to focus a little bit more on areas that I have slightly larger pores. Just kind of build it up in those areas. And then everywhere, even underneath my eyes, you know, everywhere on the entire face. Like I've said before, I don't tend to use concealer to spot treat. I tend to just use my foundation to give all the coverage that I need. And then I use concealer primarily for under the eyes. Okay, so that's that, looking super pale, as always. Next, I'm gonna do my concealer, which is, I'm going to use another By Terry product. It's the Terribly Denseless Concealer. I have it in the shade number 1. And I just kind of dab it under here, under my eyes a little bit. This is probably, it almost matches my skin, so I probably could use it as a spot treatment. But I'm going to use this Stila number 33 brush. It's kind of like a dome-shaped brush to kind of just blend in the color underneath my eye. I probably could use it as a spot treatment because it's definitely not too light, which I like, but it's light enough where it gives some brightness to under the eyes without being, you know, giving that kind of like reverse raccoon look. Ugh. Okay, So that's pretty much the whole face all set up. Next, let's do the brows. So I just had my brows done yesterday, and the girl I go to does a fantastic job. I get them threaded, but she took off a little like too much right here, so I've got to just kind of fill in a little bit extra, just so that I don't like my brows too close together when I get them threaded. I mean, I don't like her to take off too much in the front, but sometimes they'll leave too much hair in the front, like right in here, and when I end up doing my brows and filling them in, they look way too close together. It just doesn't look right on me, so I do have her take a little bit off the front. And I'm using my Anastasia Brow Wiz, which I love. And it's in the shade Medium Ash, which I think now is medium brown. And I just line kind of the bottom and then the top, and then just kind of fill in with just short strokes. And then just take the spoolie and kind of spread it all out, and if you miss any spots, I just fill in. I don't like my brows too drawn in looking, but I do fill the whole thing in. So I mean, I don't just kind of like fill in certain areas, because it just doesn't, I like to kind of fill them completely in so that they kind of all looks the same throughout, kind of the same, whatever, color is the wrong word, but kind of the same consistency throughout. Okay, so brows are done. Then I'm gonna do this is gonna be a really easy look. So I'm going to just do one color on the eye, but first I'm gonna start with the NARS eye primer, and I'm just gonna put a little bit onto my finger, and I'm gonna use a cream eyeshadow today, but even with the cream eyeshadow, I like to start with a primer because my eyelids are so oily, my face is so oily, my whole body's oily. It's like, I'm just oily. So I definitely need a primer on my lids. All right, so that's on the lids, and then moving on, to the eyeshadow. So I'm gonna use a Stila Smudge Pot, and this is in the shade Kitten. They're like famous shade called Kitten. And let me see what kind of brush I'm gonna use. I think I'm gonna use this, I have an Hourglass eyeshadow brush, and it's kind of a little fluffy brush. It's like synthetic, but I think it'll be good to help kind of disperse the color on pretty softly and evenly. So basically what this color is, it's just like a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful like champagne color. So I'm just gonna pat it in with my fingers. It's like just a beautiful wash of color on the lid. I don't know if you can see that. It's just such a pretty color. And then do it on both sides. Like I said, this is a really, really quick and easy look. Not all of them have to be super intricate. Just add it with my finger just to pack on a little bit more. I've never used these smudge pots before, but I love the color Kitten. I've used it as a powder eyeshadow from Stila, and I really, really enjoyed it. It's like this gorgeous champagne color. It's so beautiful. So I figured that I'd love it in the smudge pot as well, because it just kind of gives that really kind of seamless, glowy lid, which is really nice. And then next, I'm just gonna throw on just lots of mascara, because I always find like a really thickening mascara looks good with a really kind of soft eye like this. So I'm gonna use my Chanel Le Volume. I'm not sure if you guys can see the brush, but here's the brush. It's a really dramatic mascara. So I really love this stuff though. I try not to jiggle it too close to the lash line, and I'll tell you why. Sometimes formulas that I have are really great. You can really jiggle up the lash line and kind of get that, some deposit right along the lash line so it looks like liner. And then some are so thick that you end up with like little bits right on your lid itself, and then it's just too hard to clean up. So I try not to jiggle this one because it's a very wet formula. Like it stays very, very wet. I've had it for quite a long time and the formula still stays very, very wet. So it easily like gets onto my skin, and then getting it off is like not fun. Okay. You guys know I love a lot of mascara, but I'm only gonna do like just 2 coats here. Oops. Okay. So not too dramatic, but it does give a strong lash. For the cheeks, I'm gonna keep them really subtle. I just kind of like a glowy, bronzy cheek, but it's gonna be a matte color. So this is the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Soleil bronzer. And I'm going to use, I'm gonna use my Marc Jacobs The Bronzer brush, this massive Mama Jamma. Just kind of dust it in there and just, I'm gonna dust it like along my cheeks. Not necessarily as a contour, but just along the cheeks here. This brush does take some getting used to use, I'm not gonna lie. When I first got it, I was kind of like, oh, I don't know. It really took me some kind of getting used to because it's so massive and just so voluminous that you can feel like you're just like, am I getting powder anywhere, or is it like going everywhere? So I try to focus the powder just like on the tip of the brush, and then just kind of use that tip of the brush to kind of really get the color on. And then as I'm obviously buffing it in, the rest of the bristles will kind of help to blend it out. Now I'm just gonna kind of do it on my cheeks here. And I love this color. This is like one of my favorite bronzers. And then for a cheek color, I am going to use the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in Mood Exposure. So it's a real neutral kind of plum color. I don't like my cheeks to be too bright, especially with a dark lip. I just don't. I like kind of like it to be just neutral. But I need some color because though I love the look of really dark lips on someone that's pale, I don't tend to pull it off very well. I just haven't found the look that works for me yet. So I still need some kind of glowy softness to my face rather than super pale and dark lips. I just can't do it. So just right on the apples, and I'm using a Bobbi Brown, my blush brush here by Bobbi Brown. And then just to kind of seal it all together, I like to use my Guerlain Meteorites, the new one from spring. This is in the medium shade. And I just take it with like a MAC 116 brush, and I just go along the tops of my cheekbones, just to kind of almost give a slight highlight, but then I just kind of swirl it around to kind of bring all the colors together. Okay, so nothing really dramatic, right? Then we're gonna get onto the lips. So I've already had some moisturizer on my lips. I'm gonna take just a, well, I have it here. This is actually what I do at home. So I figured, I was like, I'll show you what I really do. I take a toothbrush, like an old toothbrush that I have just lying around, one that I don't really use anymore, and I just kind of like brush my lips. I know you can use a lip scrub, but I don't have one right now, and this works just as fine. And I've been using toothbrushes for years. So just gently, because I will say, I really enjoy this color, the one from Lipstick Queen, but it's very sheer. And as a lot of dark colors can, they can show your lip lines or show any type of like, you know, dry lips or any type of texture on your lips. So this one can. So I'm actually gonna line it first with a lip pencil. This is from Shuamura. This is called Nude 949. And I'm just gonna like line my entire lips. I could have used a dark lip liner underneath to kind of use a base if I really wanted a dramatic look, but this is like a look that I just wore to work this past week. So, and I need it to be a little bit more wearable for my office, obviously. Okay. So as you can see, it's just like my lip color, but better. It's like it's a beautiful lip liner. I got this when I used to work for Schumacher like years ago. Unfortunately, you can't get them in the States anymore except online. So that's always a bummer. I was really upset about that. But okay, so we're gonna take the color and I'm just gonna apply it right on the lips. And it's very sheer. There was like 3 different ones. There was one that was a little bit more opaque, and then one that was a little more shimmery, I believe, if I recall correctly. And this was the sheer one, and there was a shimmery, and then an opaque one. So 3. And because it's sheer, you can really kind of go heavy-handed with it. I just take my finger and just kind of smooth it all out. And it's, you know, it's dark. It's not too dark. I feel you could always take a little bit and blot it. That takes it down just a little bit. I think it looks really pretty. I love it kind of with like a little bit of strong brow, light eyes, slightly contoured cheeks, but more just kind of bronzy, and they're somewhat matte. And then what I'd love to put over top of it, if it starts getting, my lips start getting dry throughout the day, I love Fresh, the Sugar in the shade Berry. This is my favorite touch-up product for when I wear dark lips. So pretty much any dark purple lip that I wear, I will put this on throughout the day to help just kind of keep the color going, but help keep my lips very moisturized. So I'll show you what it looks like if I add it on top of it. It doesn't really change the color too much. It does have some color though to it. And you can wear it just alone, and it's a very beautiful color. But it does kind of help to make my lips really hydrated, keep the color going without any type of, you know, having to reapply and kind of start over. Because with a dark lip, as with a bold lip, it can be very high maintenance. So this is the final look. So I hope you guys like it, and told you it was a super easy look. Pretty much just almost one step each way, just, you know, one eyeshadow. We did a few different cheek things. So I did the bronzer and the cheek color, and then a little bit of my finishing powder from the Guerlain, and then the lipstick, just with the lip liner as a base. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys soon. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.